I hope the screen is visible to all of you guys. Just ping me and or put in the chat whether the screen is visible to you or not, and then we'll start. Okay, thank you, Umesh, for confirming. Let me check with the others also. Guys, could you please confirm whether the screen is visible or not? Otherwise, I have to wait 1 more minute. Okay, guys, we'll start now. Uh, in case if the screen is not visible to you or if you are any problem, if you are facing any problem, let me know. So you know that yesterday we have covered few date functions, how to get a extract a day from a particular date. Even we have covered how to convert a data type from one data type to how to convert columns data type from one data type to another data type and vice versa. We have covered cast, convert as well as pass function. And if it is not, if the data is not convertible, then in that case we can use a uh, try cast or try pass function. And if data is not convertible, in that case this function will return instead of it this function will return null instead of the error. So today we will cover basically basic aggregation functions. So why it is required? So information is the foundation of most of the organization while doing their decision. And in if the data is in a raw format, okay, that data is meaningless and it offers very little information to a particular person or a data analyst or for the organization. Until we summarize the data, we will not get much information. So to get information, summarization is important, and by using the aggregate functions, we do summarization. So you can do the summarization in Excel, you can do the same thing in Power BI or Pivot, or even you can just service analysis services. But SQL is the best thing where using select statement and the aggregate functions, you can achieve the same thing. So uh, when while talking about the TSQL query, we use aggregate functions, and the aggregate function returns a single row for computed summarized values or values aggregated, and these values are aggregated by group by function or other columns in a query. If you want to go into more complex query, then we can use Windows functions like row number or rank and dense rank. So here we will cover the basic aggregate functions, and these aggregate functions are basically max. So max will return the maximum value in that expression, and it will work with if your data type is in numeric, that is the source data is in numeric or string or data type. What it will does, it will returns the max or the largest number of values. Or if it is the date, then the max or last date it will return. and in case of the string, it will return the last string according to the current collation of the SQL. There is one more aggregate function which is use min, and the purpose of the min is it will provide a minimum value. For example, if you have a field and it contains 1 to 10 values, in this case min is one value, so it will return 1, and uh, we like sum. What sum does, basically it will perform the addition of all values and it will give the sum of oh, yes, Aniket, what's the problem? Aniket, am I audible and screen is visible to you, or is there any lag and latency? You are not, I'm not audible, is it? Oh, let me check. Sagar or Umesh, can you please confirm whether I'm audible or not? I think Aniket, for others, I don't know. I'm audible for you. I don't know why it's not audible to you. Can you please rejoin? Let me stop the sharing and reshare it. Aniket, now can you please confirm whether I'm audible or not? Just give me 1 minute. Okay. I hope I am audible. Okay, we'll start now. No problem. So, as I mentioned, this sum, what it will does, like it will give it will do the summation of all rows and it will provide a result. It will do a summation, and if you specify a distinct while calculating the sum and it has a multiple or a duplicate values, then it will take one value and it will do the summation of that particular value. Okay, I don't know why it's not audible. Like, give me 1 minute. Let me. So I was talking about sum function. Okay, now average. So it what it will does, it will do the summation of all number of the columns and it will divide to that particular sum and it will provide average. So in each and every Hello. Okay. In each and every aggregate function, it will ignore the null values. It will not calculate the null values. So there is one more function, count and big count. Okay. So count and big count will perform the same operation, but uh, if there are more number of the values, right? Uh, if you have billions or millions of records, in that case count won't work because it's a data type is integer, where in case of the big in this count underscore big, its data type is big. If the data is uh, huge, the count is huge, in that case it won't work. So that time you should go for this count underscore big function. Okay. So let me show you a few examples of these functions, how it works in SSMS, that is SQL Server Management Studio. So for example, now um, I want to check how many sales order headers in that particular in Adventure Works. There is a table called sales order header, and I want to check how many rows are there. Okay, so to get the number of rows, so we can use a count function. So count basically provides how many rows are there in the table. So the syntax is very simple. Select, then use a from, and then pass your table name. So here I'm passing my table name as a sales. So it is present under this table. Okay. Now what I want how many numbers of there. So what I will do, I will use count. This is the aggregate function, and then you can use a star, this asterisk operation or symbol, and you can execute this query. Just select this query. Now see, I will get an error. I will show you why I'm getting the error. So invalid object name, this sales order header. Why I'm getting this error? The reason is that you can see this, though like invalid object name, and then it has given the schema name and the table name. Uh, why? Though there is a table, okay, you can see here this table is present, but this table is not present under the master database. It's present under the Adventure Works database. So I have to switch from master database to Adventure Works. So there are two ways. You can use Adventure Works, you can use a GUI, and from here you can switch, or the other way is just use keyword use and then type the database name, and in between just type go. It is not required to type a go, but it's a best practice to use a go statement to just segregate the two batches separately. So I will execute this. This command successfully executed. You can check here. This is Adventure Works. From here you can confirm that this is the now your connection, or you are connected to the Adventure Works database, and even from here also. Now you can delete it and just execute this query. You will get like 31K somewhere, like 31,465 rows are there. Let me show you how many rows are there. I will perform the select star operation. So this select star will give me the all rows and all the data. See, 31,465 rows, and the output of the earlier query was also same. So let me execute and let me show you. See. So, but here the column name is not there. So to get a column name, just pass as keyword and then specify alias to this field. So number of rows, how many number of rows are there? There are 31,465 number of rows are there. Okay. So for example, let me take another example. Yeah, so even you can use, instead of the star, you can use a count one and you will get the same result. See, there is no difference. Let me show you number of rows, comma, this one with count as with numbers with count one. Okay, with CNT1 and just execute the query. You can see the output of the both field is same. Now, for example, if there is any table or if there is any field which is a unique, okay, and if you want to take the count, you can use even the if there is no null values, okay. In that case, you will get a like you will get the exact number. In case of if the sales order ID has like each record has sales order ID, and in that case you will get the same number of count as count star as well as count one. Let me pass that one also. So what I will do, I will use a count 10 as number of rows with column name, or you can specify count with column name, and you can even specify count with one, and here like you can specify simple count or count with star, count with star. Let me see. I think it will not work. In that case, let me show you. It will throw an error. Invalid field name. Okay, there is a error. But if you want the column name with the star, in that case, do one thing. Just put a square bracket. Uh, in Put the column name into the square bracket and rerun the query. So the output with of these three function is the same. Okay, let me show you one more thing. Now what I will do, I will take a count of this currency rate ID. Okay, you know that there are like how many records are there? 31,465. But now I will take a count of this field and I will show you the behavior of the count function. Okay, so let me put comma, then give a readable name, count of, then specify count of currency rate ID and just execute this query. Now see, you are getting less number of records. Though there are 31,465 records, but the count of currency rate ID is 13,976. Why it is? Because count will ignore null values. You can see there are like if you see how many you can see, right, there are few null values. So if you do a summation, like this is the count where this is the count where currency rate is currency rate ID currency rate ID is present, right? This is the count. So like, or you can put count of currency rate ID where ID is present. ID means currency rate ID. This is the count. Now I want to get a count of currency rate ID where currency rate is null. How can I achieve that? The simple way is just copy this statement and use a select on this, then use this field here where currency rate ID is null. So let me take this count. Oh, I'm getting the count. Okay, it will not give me the count. In that case, how can you achieve? You can use is null, then convert into 0 and execute this. Yeah, you will get the count. So to get the count of null records, this is a simple. If you do the summation of these two, you will get the total number. You will get the total number of records. So to do the summation, it's very simple. Just take this value, put it here again, put it here and execute. Okay, so this is the count. We just like cross checked whether counts are matching or not. So during interview, most of the time this question will be asked, what is the difference between count star, count one, and a column name, and in that column, if there is a null value or what, I mean, they will ask with null value and without null value. So there is no difference between count star and the count one. You can uh, you can use either of it. You will get the same result. But in case of the if you are passing column name and there is few null values are present or the data is absent or if the data is unknown to you, in that case you will get less number of the records. So this is the count function. Then we will go for total due. There is a field called the total due. Let me show you what is total due. Mm, Basically, this table contains the order date and sales orders. Okay, so let me go at the right side. Is there any total? A subtotal is there. Then total due. Okay, what I want sum of total due, mean of what is the minimum value of the total due, and what is the max or average of total due, mean of total due, and max of total due. So how can I achieve? I can take this. I can write a single statement and I can get the result. So let me write a statement. Now what I want mean of total due. Just I will copy paste here. I want mean, I want max, I want sum, and I want mean, maximum, and average. And to segregate between these, we will use a mean, max, sum, and then average. We will execute this. So this is the minimum total due. This is the max. This is the sum of all total dues, and this is the average total due. So basically, somewhat like to get a average, how it works. So average function will exclude the null values, even some will exclude, and even uh, sum and average will exclude the if there is null value, then it will exclude that part. Okay, so this is the simple these are the simple aggregate functions. But I mean, this is the overall. Okay, what if I want a result on basis of few other uh, with group? Okay, it is simple that for example, if let me show you one more example. Let me take first the data. What is the data inside this table? To check the data or to read the data, we use a select statement. Now what I want now I want what is the on yearly basis, how mu how much is the total due amount. Okay, so on yearly basis, like in 2011, how much it was, in 2012, how much it was, and in uh, like for a different year, I want the sum of total due amount. So how can I achieve? I mean, to get it, this is the overall rate. If you have thousands of the if you have 100 years rate, if for example, this is overall, it will calculate this mean, max, and average based on this 31,465 euros. But what if I want to calculate the mean, max, or sum and average on basis of yearly? So that time we will use a group by. So the syntax is select, then the field name, then you can use group by, then the column name. Let me show you. I want uh, order date or year wise, according to the order date. I want year wise total due. So how can I achieve to get a first to get a year from this order date? How can we achieve? Just simply instead let me put these two things separately. Okay, so we have now all the fields. Now I will write query here. So what I want year from order date, right? So how can I get, just type year. There is a function in the SQL server called year. So from there you can get it, order date, right? So I will execute this. You can see I'm getting the year part only. Now I will put as order year. Okay. Now what I want sum of total due. So what I will do, I will copy this sum of total due and I will execute. I will get an error. Let's see. Okay. So the error is, let me get it down. So the error is column sales order, sales order header. This is the column name. This is the order date function is invalid in the select list because it is not contained in either an aggregate function or a group by clause. So if you want to add a column in whenever there is a aggregate function in a select statement, and if there is another field, that field should be either part of the group by statement, or it should be part of the any aggregate function. Like for example, if I want, I can put mean on this mean and then order here. Okay, so I can use this way and I can execute. Now what it does basically, first SQL server first SQL server will we'll return year, okay, like 2011, 2012, and then once it return the year, post that it will return the minimum value. Let me show you this part in Excel prior to this one. Mm, Instead of the main, this function. So it has returned this many rows, right? Let me open Excel. Oh, it's not coming here. Let me copy and paste the data there. So you can see what is the minimum order here. I will remove this duplicate values from here. How to remove duplicate values. So now I have only four rows, right? How many? Four rows, yes. So what is the main value? This is the minimum value. It will it will take the minimum value. So first, how SQL work in this case? In this case, mm, KU, KCU. Oh, it's not working. Let me uncomment it. KUU. Mhm. Okay. So the shortcut is Control, press Control, then K and U for uncomment, and for comment Control K and then C. Now, like in this case, right? SQL first return all the years, and then from that year it will take a minimum value. So in our case, this is the minimum value, and it will return a sum. Let me execute this. Okay, so but here it is returning the sum for all the not for the all year, not this particular year. Okay, now what I want, I don't want this main. Okay, I want to execute this function. Let me execute this one, this query, and like I am getting this error. So I want how I want the data. Let me show you. Like for example, for 2011, the sum of the due amount is this one. For this year, this one. Then again for this year, I'm just randomly putting any number. This is the overall sum. Okay, I'm getting this sum now. But now my expectation is that I want yearly basis sum. Okay, I want to understand for a particular year how much amount is due at the customer end. So to get that, I want, if I want that part, I will put a year, I will extract a year from this order date column, and I will add the same function here in the group by, and I will now execute this query. Group by, so by is missing, and just execute this. See, now let me copy this one. This is what we get on yearly basis. So on 2013, this much amount was due. On 2014, this much. On 2011 and 12. So this is, if you do a calculation, let me. So this is the total due amount. So to get a total due amount, the simple thing is like earlier. Let me put here mean, and let me show you the same example one more time. See, for like I will not put here order by. See, I was getting this much amount, right? But actually, this 2011 has this much amount, and I was getting this part. Okay, so it is not correct. Okay, so to get a correct amount, you should use year and then group by function, that particular field in the group by. So if you use a simple field or without any aggregate function, then that should be part of your group by uh, clause, otherwise you will get an error. Now what I want, group by is completed, but now what I want let me, instead of the sum, let me give here, I want to calculate average. Okay, this particular year, on yearly basis, what is the average due amount? So how can I calculate? Just put AVG and execute this one. This is the average. Let me show you one more example. I will create a simple table and I will show you. We'll create a simple employee table. Let me check whether I have or not. Mm, is there any wage column? Okay. So let me check in the person table. Okay, no. Let me create it. One more table. Mm, we'll create in SQL tutorial database. We'll switch. Is there any table exist? Employee is there. Okay. Let me check what are the different fields are available in this table. Okay, ID is there. MP address, customer, products, movie, grocery, products purchase. Mm, Okay, we'll create a table simple. Create table emp, then we will add id as integer, not null, then name varchar 20 or 30, and we'll add one more. I will add a salary field here. Salary money is the data type, then debtor name is the my department, and the department 10. Let me execute this one. Oh, I am getting error because I'm missing a comma. Okay, there is an object called emp. Let me delete that first, or drop a table. Query is drop table and then pass a table name. Cannot. Okay, it is reference. Okay, we'll create employee details. Okay, let me details. Okay, I have created one table called employee details, and these are the fields. Now what I want to do, I want to add a data into this table. To add a data, the statement is insert into, then pass the table name, then use values keyword, and then pass the data. So here employee 1, Maisha is a employee. Her salary is 5,000. Then department is IT. Okay, let me execute this query. So there is one more record. Let me put 2 3 times. There is second employee. His name is Jay. He has salary 5,000 for 4,000. He is from CSE department. There is one more employee. His name is Raj. He has 9,000 salary. Or like consider 15,000. He is from which department? HR department probably. And there is one more record for his name is Sachin and his salary is consider 1,000. Okay, and he's again from the IT department. Now let me show you. Select star from employee details. Now I want. Oh, I'm getting only 1 and 4. Okay, I think I haven't executed these two statements. Let me execute. So there are 4 records. Now what I want max salary according to this department ID. Okay, if you see the result, okay, let me copy this and put into the Excel. Let me sort the data. I will sort data according to salary and then department name. So I want the largest salary. So for this HR department, let me add 2 more records here. 5. This is KD. His salary is 300, 3,000. Okay. Insert. There is one more employee whose is employed is 6 and his name is hmm, okay, Priya, and her salary is again 6,000. Okay, let me execute this query now. Let me execute. See, let me copy this data now. To copy the data, just click here. You can see here, it will select automatically all rows. Just right click, copy with headers. I want headers too, so I will put headers here, the data. Now let me sort the data and see. For this HR department, right? This is the top salary. How I want, I will show you. This is the existing data. This Maisha is from IT department. His top salary is 5,000. In case of the CSE department, J is earning more than KD and this IT department, yeah, okay. So I want this output from this data. How can I get? Okay. So first, to get a max salary, the query we will write is just write max, then salary, right? To break, like, to get the output, just a break. What is the statement? The statement is I want, what is my problem statement? Return max salary department wise. To now break it, I want department wise, but what I want a max salary. To get a max salary, there is a function, aggregate function in SQL Server is max. So just execute this one, we'll get a max salary. We know that there is a max salary, it is a 15,000. Who is earning? Raj is earning. Okay. Now what I want according to department wise. So to get a department name, just put that department name here in a select statement. If I try to execute this, I will get an error because this department is not part of the group. I won't do the groupism. Okay, whenever you use a aggregate function with uh, if you have other columns in a select statement, use the all the statement in group by clause. So use group by this department, and I want name this field as max underscore salary. Let me execute this query. See, I'm getting CSE in CSE department who is earning more. This 40,000. Okay, uh, like and then in HR department max salary is 50,000. In IT department 5,000. Let's see. If you check, this is the max salary. Now what I want average salary. Instead of the max salary, I want average salary. Mm, average salary, I will put average salary. Okay. You know the max salary is how much? 50,000, right? Let me execute only average salary without. Okay, this is the average salary. Overall average salary is this one. Now what I want all the salaries or all the employee names whose salary is greater than this average salary, or I want all the details or a department name or a employee name whose salary is greater than this particular average salary. How can I achieve? Mm, let me go to this one. How many? IT, IT, CSC, CSC, IT. Okay.